Hello again, everybody. This is FIDE Master Dalton Perrine, back again from chessuniversity.com, and this is another video in the Tactics Time video series that we've been doing here. So in this video series, I'm going to be working on solving different tactics trainer positions here on chess.com, and with each position, I'm first of all going to show you guys the tactic, give you the chance to pause the video so you can work on solving the problem yourself, and then I'll be explaining my thought process and showing the solution to the different puzzles we look at. So we're going to be getting underway here with some 1200 to 1500 rated tactics. Without any more waiting, let's go ahead and start our tactics here. So hit the start button and see what we get. Okay, so white to move in this position. Go ahead and pause the video and see what you can come up with for white in this position here. Okay, so in this position here, it's white's move right now. There's quite a few forcing moves available in this position, particularly quite a few checks available. We can do moves like Queen B8 check, Queen C8 check, Queen D8 check, and Rook E8 check. All of those are definitely moves you would want to consider for sure. Especially because at the moment we're threatened with, Black is threatening to take on G4, and if it was his move, we might even get mated pretty quickly here. Rook takes G4, King moves, Queen F3, or something like that. So we need to be pretty quick with whatever we do here. Now, it's always important when you're considering any kind of forcing move, you always have to, usually want to consider at least like 2 moves ahead. You want to see the first move, and then what can you do after that first move. So in this position, if we do a move like Rook E8 check, Black is going to play King H7, and then we have to ask ourselves, do we have any good forcing move follow-up? I actually don't see a way to check the king that's effective once the king reaches H7 if we start off with Rook E8. Rook E8, King H7, I don't see a check, and if we don't check, Black is going to turn on his own attack, and we might, run into some trouble here. So we need to make a check so that when the king goes to H7, we have a follow-up check. So Queen D8, the same problem. Queen D8, King H7, no follow-up. Queen B8, King H7, no follow-up. However, there is a difference with Queen C8 check, because when the king goes to H7, our queen from C8 can actually swing back to the F5 square, check the king on H7, and we can keep up the attack in that way. So Queen C8 check is what I'm looking at. King H7, Queen F5 check. If the king goes back to the back rank, then we control H7, and then Rook E8 would be checkmate. So that's a good idea, starting off point here. So Queen C8, King H7, Queen F5. If Black plays G6, then we can play the queen from F5 to take F7, because now the G-pawn's gone, queen on F7 will be checking the king on H7, and then we'll get a mate with Rook E8. So it looks like Queen C8's the idea, followed by Queen F5. And now that the king's gone back, we control the H7 square now, and now Rook E8 is a checkmate in this position. So this position is all about kind of a process of elimination in a way. We have 4 different checks available in the position. We have to figure out which one we can follow up with after we do the... Okay, so in this position here, it is Black's move right now. Go ahead and pause the video, see what you can come up with here for Black, and then we will talk about it in a moment or so. Okay, so it's Black's move in this position here. I'm already looking for forcing moves, just like the previous example. We're always going to be looking for forcing moves at the start. Let's see here. There's a couple of checks available, things like Queen H4 check, Queen G3, Queen E2, Queen D2, stuff like that. I really wish I could play Queen D2. That would be checkmate if the queen was not on E3, because my rook is supporting my queen on D2. So that starts to give me the idea, if I can pull this queen away from the E3 square somehow, then I can deliver the mate on D2. So what I'm going to do here in this position is a different forcing move. I see that none of the checks get anything accomplished immediately. If I go Queen H4 check, that's the only other reasonable check here. Queen H4 check, white can just block with the rook or something like that. And I don't see a great answer after that. But what we can do here is rook takes E4. We take the bishop. It's not that we're trying to win material, but we're mainly trying to pull the queen away from guarding the D2 square. If the queen had captured the rook, then we were going to play queen to D2 checkmate. And if the queen doesn't take the rook, well, we're either going to win the queen or, or go to d2 checkmate anyways. So this one is a deflection or removing the defender type tactic. We're trying to remove the defender of the queen, which is guarding the d2 square. We do that by capturing the bishop here on e4. Okay, let's check our next tactic out. Okay, so in this position, white has just captured a pawn on e5. It is black's move at the moment. Go ahead and pause the video and see what you would do if you were black in this situation. Okay, so in this position here, when the knight captures on e5, this is an important tactical pattern to keep in mind. This knight is now undefended right now. And again, we always want to look at our forcing moves. We have two different checks available in this position. We have bishop b4 check, and we also have queen a5 check. Now, which of these moves hit the king and also attack something else? Well, it ends up being the queen on a5. If we move the queen over to the a5 square, we're both checking the king and also attacking this undefended knight on e5. So in this case, white has captured what would be called a poisoned pawn, or we kind of almost trapped or tricked white into capturing this pawn. Now it looks like the pawn was free, but we do have the counter tactic, queen a5 check. He has to block the check, of course, and then we can just go ahead and pick up the knight that's on the e5 square. Okay, so we've seen a couple of different tactical examples during this video here. Mainly some situations focusing on some removing the defender, some forks, a situation at the start where we had to do a process of elimination, figuring out the certain checks, and then calculating one extra move forward sometimes. Rather than just doing the first move you see, sometimes you have to look an extra move deeper to see if you can find the absolute best move in the position. So that's it for this video, though. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. I'll see you guys around in a future video for chessuniversity.com, and I will talk with everybody later. All right,